Hello, everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Takt of Destiny, episode 5, I believe. Yeah, episode 5. In the last episode, quite a bit happened story wise, although not terribly much progression wise, because the only thing that really happened was us getting to the Las Vegas. That became a farming town for some reason in the middle of the desert. But as we know, all the casinos, well, at least some of them, are still operational. And the owners of the place are making some big money on that, unbeknownst to the people who work on the farms, who think that all the casinos are shut down. And we know that this procedure has support of at least some members of the Symphonica. So we know that we should not trust Symphonica, at least not completely, and at least not everybody from there. We know that Lenny is probably trustworthy because he wanted to end the the thing they had going on there, the embezzlement of money and all that stuff. Our heroes kinda interrupted him, but I guess it's all for the better, or at least it's all for the same result, because the dude that was scamming Symphonica, well, not scamming, Symphonica knew what they were doing, I'm guessing. The dude who was working with Symphonica to keep the casinos operational got his comeuppance. And for some reason, there were also D2s in the basement of the casino. I still don't know what's the deal with that. Were they there all the time just sleeping? Or did the tuning fork thing summon them? Or was the tuning fork thing keeping them away? Or I don't know. There's still way too many mysteries to be able to for us to be able to speculate about anything, right? We know some things, but the nature of D2 still remains unclear. And the purpose of them, and whether or not they are being controlled by a third party, and whether or not that third party is Symphonica itself. Yeah, one of my suspicions in the last episode was that perhaps Symphonica used the D2s, summoned them by themselves to defeat them to gain power. And I still believe that it is a um uh damn, I forgot the proper word for that. That it's still something that could have happened. It's still plausible. That's the word I was looking for. I still think it's plausible that Symphonica used D2s to gain power, but I guess we will know in due time whether it's true or not. And we won't know that if we don't watch further episodes. So, without further ado, even though I'm still feeling a little bit unwell, to be perfectly honest with you, the show must go on, and we must watch further episodes of Takt of Destiny. So, Takt of Destiny, episode 5 version by Subs, please, yet again, starting in 3, 2, 1, now. The blue crystal, the one that creates Musicarts, if I'm not mistaken, because D2s are born of the black crystal. Okay, they're inquiring about Tact and Destiny. No, don't report it. Yeah. We know that he's the bad dude now. We have our confirmation. Of course you will. In a way that you see fit. Who took the photos, though? We'll have to kill them. Of course they will. I think by now this blonde dude being the villain of this story is all but confirmed, honestly. That makes me think that his Musicart might have been the one with the tuning fork that we've seen in episode 3, was it? I think it was episode 3, when she cut that music fork, tuning fork, and that stopped the onslaught of D2s. Okay. Valkyrie. As in Flight of the Valkyries? Flat tire? Opuntia? Yeah. Yeah, and another example of his thinking that only music matters. And she acts by her own again. Will she destroy the train tracks? And that will cause issues? No, she will not destroy the train tracks, but she will cause issues regardless. Couldn't she have dodged that? Yeah, Symphonica train. And that's the Valkyrie, isn't it? She does look like a Valkyrie. I mean, didn't you see the D2? Oh, Schindler. What a coincidence. The train goes. Yeah. What about the car, though? I guess you can take the car as well. Siderites, the mineral used to create Musicarts. Guess we have two Musicarts. Is it like a pudding? Or cake usually isn't smooth. Of course, he's treating Musicarts as objects, as weapons, as tools. Of course, he would be the one to do that. You're gonna be strangled with a pillow if you fall asleep here. Do you now? Completely unfazed. What did you see? D2s? D2s. Yeah, you can't stop her from from going after D2s. Okay, at least now Takt is also engaging in the fight properly. What about the purple one? Yeah, personal bodyguard. Sure. Okay, she can throw her shield. Yeah, she didn't harm you. Why are we stopping though? Okay, she blew a hole in the train tracks. Or did she? Half a day is an awful fast to fix something like that in the middle of nowhere. You could convince Takt, but not Destiny. Not with that music in the background. Okay, that's interesting. So music cards without conductors exist, or rather music cards aren't assigned to conductors right from the get-go. They get created and then they wait to be bound to some conductor. Totally not a villain. Totally not a villain. Man, I wonder who the bad guys is in this anime. Who could it possibly be? Could it be her, maybe? Could it be him? I have no idea. Uh, just confirm. Okay, so he has a savior complex. He is probably the one who summons D2s, and the higher ups don't even know that because he's been given so much power as the second in command that he can just do whatever he wishes for his own twisted reasons. Yeah, it is a lot. Could someone have possibly unsealed them? I wonder. I wonder who could it have been? Okay, she's getting better at it. I love the sound her shield makes, the crackling of energy. And here we get the corruption. Hmm. So there is some sort of connection to their conductors. They do gain power from them. Perhaps not to the degree that Destiny does, but they do regardless. collapse the canyon. That's some nice music. Oh, you will accept it soon enough. We all know that. Okay, what did this accomplish? Did it actually crash all those flying D2s, or did they just seal off the entrance, or... Yeah. The purple one... Oh no. I thought the purple one will actually show us her powers. Did you find your master now? Valkyrie, not Valkyrie. Yeah, Ride of the Valkyries. Okay. I knew it's gonna end up like this. Is there a precedent for a conductor having two Musicarts, though? That's a big one. Will you fight finally? Okay, show us what you got. Heelys? Okay. I guess you can use a pair of Heelys as a weapon. I did not expect that. Okay. She's powerful, alright. Some shaft angles. If you weren't convinced that she's not fully sane yet, now you are. Of course. We're getting a new party member? Kill them. I guess Valkyrie's gonna join them. And they will be able to track her somehow. That's the play here. Do you want to register? Go to Aru. I knew it. He has his own goals. He doesn't want to be a part of the Symphonica. He never wished for that. He just wants to play his music. What about Valkyrie, though? Not a villain, everybody. Totally not a villain. I still have no clue who the bad guys could be. Is D2s the real bad guys in this show? I wonder. Show me Valkyrie, though. I really hope that Valkyrie would join our team. I grew to enjoy her character, her fight style, her voice. We'll have to spare a moment to check out the voice actors again, I think. Because I think I heard her voice somewhere, but I can't recall where. Hmm. I wonder what will become of her. I can see three possible ways it could go. She either binds to Takt, and we get a new OP and a new ED halfway through the season, or she binds to the redhead girl. I forget her name. I always forget her name. She binds to her, and we get a new OP and ED to her. Yeah, and we get a new OP and ED, or she dies. I wouldn't put it past this show to kill Valkyrie off. We don't see Valkyrie anywhere in the ED. Do we see her in the OP though? I'll have to check it out. So, this scene. Come on, play. Listen to me. Yeah, we're transporting the crystals. And they somehow have amazing photos of Tact and Destiny. I don't know who took them, but someone did. And yeah, don't you dare report it to the Grand Maestro. We shouldn't bother Grand Maestro with things like that, right? We can figure it out ourselves. I'm the second in command. Do you have no trust in me? Right? Besides, you're just a pawn. What would you do if a pawn in a chess game moved on his own, right? I think Grand Maestro is a good guy. And he doesn't know that his second in command is doing all that shit behind the scenes. And I think Schindler here is behind the D2 attacks. I am 90% convinced that this is how it is. Schindler causes attacks of D2s to build up the reputation and the power of the Symphonica. And Grand Maestro is maybe not a puppet, but he's oblivious to that, right? He has his own responsibilities as a Grand Maestro. He put trust into Schindler to deal with things, and that trust was misplaced, essentially. Yeah, and the Grand Maestro deals with like public appearances and fighting big D2s. I know, signing papers, shit like that, and everything that happens behind the scenes happens because of Schindler. He's in charge of transporting the crystals, and we now know that he wants to divert those crystals somewhere else. They won't go to Symphonica, they will go somewhere else to an undisclosed location. Okay. The OP. Do we see Valkyr anywhere? I don't think we do see her. Let me just step through a bit more gradually. Yeah, this is our totally not villains. I wonder who the villains could be in this series. Really, it's anybody's guess. No, we just see Lenny, we see Schindler with Hell, we see Lenny with Titan. Yeah, I don't think we actually see Valkyrie anywhere. Here's the Grand Maestro with his Musicart. No, no sign of Valkyrie. Curious. Yeah, the car breaks down, and completely by coincidence, we happen upon a train that goes to New Orleans, and a train that also Schindler happens to ride on. What a coincidence! Crazy how it happens, right? I still think that Destiny could have just avoided the train, like smash the crystal and jump. But no, she just chose to stand in the middle of the tracks for no reason except being obtuse, I guess. I mean, that's one of her character traits, one of her defining character traits, really. So it's not weird that she did that. Yeah, let's hear them out. Look, I'm smiling, I'm your friend, I will take you to New Orleans. I've never seen a type like hers. Head commander of the Symphonica, Felix Schindler. Yeah, and we know his thinking. Music arts are weapons, music arts are items, music arts are tools. They are not people, they are merely things that we use to dispose of D2s. Hmm. That's it's a prevalent theme, fairly prevalent in the shows that I'm watching this season. Well, maybe not so much, but 2 out of 4 shows that I'm watching have this theme. Takt of Destiny, Schindler treats music arts as items, and Tsukito Laika to Nosferatu. They treat Irina as an item, as a test subject. Everyone except Lev. And here, everyone. Well, we don't know if everyone. I don't think Lenny treats Titan as an item. I don't think the Grand Maestro would treat his music art as an item either. I think in this case it might actually just be Schindler that does that. Yeah, so maybe I was a little bit off here. And we of course don't tell them anything. We'll have plenty of time to talk, sure. Yeah, don't tell them anything. That's the best choice here. And we get another shot, another shot of the crystal they used to create music arts. Do not touch hazardous material. Nothing points at the casing being cracked or anything like that. And yet D2s come regardless. Takt, of course, has no chill, and at the same time, he has all the chill in the world. He has no chill, calling her a savage, uncivilized, and whatnot, and outright telling her, "My name's not you, my name is Takt." And at the same time, he has so much chill that he's completely unfazed by a sword to his throat. There are D2s approaching, and of course, Destiny cannot help herself but to henshin and engage. There are D2s, arm goes spoof, dress goes spoof. I shall engage. And window goes poof. Yep. That's a pretty sequence. I really like the choreography in this show. And we get to see Valkyrie fight as well. I love her energy attacks, the crackling of energy, of raw power around her sword, around her shield. And she can throw her shield, as we will soon see. And yeah, she doesn't fight. Did she use her shield around here? Yes, she did. Yeah, that's a nice wind up. Wind up, throw, energy disc. This is a curious bit here. We see a couple of frames that show that this disc isn't all that fast because it's still in the same frame, in the same shot as the D2. And here it just slices through it. It's a nice bit of anticipation and, you know, the thing that you do in animation, that you do a little bit of wind up, a little bit of anticipation of movement, and then you do the movement, right? It increases the impact, and the D2 immediately turns into this white stone, and they crumble, as D2s are wont to do. Elimination complete. My decision was appropriate. Yeah, she still doesn't quite have the control over her powers that we would want her to have. She's getting better. She didn't shoot Takt after all. That's interesting that. Yeah, here's the D2 behind you. Did she shoot horizontally? Yeah, it was a horizontal shot. It wasn't like downwards, it wasn't diagonal, it was horizontal. So I wonder how it could have destroyed the tracks. I don't think we should get to hang on it, to hang up on it. It just happened. Deal with it. Have a day to fix the tracks, and not just any fix, but there's a whole ass crater you would have to at least partially fill to fix the tracks. They're fast. And yeah, totally not a villain face. What do you mean? Totally not. She's on our side, right? Yeah, it's perfectly normal to ask people to give you their eyes. Your eyes are so pretty, give them to me. She's just being friendly here. Leonard. Who is Leonard? Ah, Lenny. Okay. We're talking about Lenny. I'm guessing he has a grudge against Lenny. Yes, Lenny is a good guy. Shooting is very respectable, no surprise you're from the famous Schneider family. Huh. You're traveling with them to keep surveillance over them, aren't you? I think Schindler takes her for someone who she's not. I think he thinks that she's part of some respected family, the Schneider family, and she's with Tact and Destiny, to keep tabs on them, to keep surveillance on over them, as he said. I wonder why he thinks that. So the unregulated Musicart and that Conductor don't harm anyone. Why did he get that impression? Just because of the Schneider name? I'm not. You're doing the right thing. And he doesn't even take no for an answer because he thinks that she's just evading it, right? You're doing the right thing. The world is in chaos right now. And that is why we, the chosen ones, must guide those below us. We get the villain's motivation here, essentially. His motivation here is we are the chosen ones, right? Because we are the conductors who have control over the music arts, I'm guessing. And because we are the chosen ones, we must guide those below us. And what better way is there to control those below you than to save them from peril? And if there is no peril, you create it. You summon the D2s so that they attack civilians, and then you swoop in, you defeat the D2s, you cut the tuning fork to stop the onslaught, you kill off the stragglers, and you're loaded as a hero. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that that is the play here. Yeah. Unless I'm proven otherwise in future episodes, I'm convinced that this is what they're doing here. 100%. 100% he's using D2s to gain power. And the crater is no more. They're welding the tracks. Yeah. Just like that. In the middle of the desert. No problem. More D2s incoming. Black Knight's side rights have been properly sealed. What could have summoned the D2s then? Could it be that one of the Black Knight's side rights wasn't properly sealed? Could it be that it was unsealed, taken out to some undisclosed location by some third-party actors, possibly acting under Schindler's orders? And that's why they diverted the train, the cargo, to a different location in the end, so that nobody notices that there are crystals missing. Maybe. But no, if he does have the power to divert them to a different location, why would he steal them? Right? So I wonder what it's all about. Nice fight scene. Yeah. And we know that Musicarts who are not bound to a conductor use up their power much faster. If they fight too long, they end up like that. Yeah, that tells us a couple of useful bits of info. One, music arts aren't given a conductor right from the get-go, as I thought that that's what happens, right? A music art is created, and right from the get-go, they get a handler assigned to them. They get a conductor. But no, apparently music arts are created, and they help around the Symphonica, and when they find a conductor they want to bind to, they bind to that conductor. That's how it works, apparently. Two, we know that other music arts, not just Destiny, also rely on their conductors for power. Not to the same degree that Destiny does, because Destiny seems to literally sap the energy from Takt, and other music cards simply merely seem to be empowered by the bond, and they don't seep the power of their conductors. But there is still some sort of power transfer between them. Yeah, collapse the passage to bury those D2s. Plan as good as any. Yeah, not bad. I'm. How does she pronounce it? Valkyra. Okay, Valkyra. I have to remember that. Not Valkyrie, Valkyra. Must be Wagner, yes, Ride of the Valkyries. Not bad. She's all blushing. You gotta love the Gap Moe. There's nothing better in this world than a blushing tomboy. Yep. Yep. I honestly was expecting her to bond with Takt right here and right here and now, right there and then. But apparently not. And we don't see her in the OP, we don't see her in the ED. I wonder what will become of her. It would be a pity if they killed her off. I wouldn't put it past this show, but it would still be a pity. So I hope they don't do that. I hope that she joins our team, and we will simply get a mid-season OP and ED switch. Here's the big one, and Hell wants to join the fight. Yeah, totally not a villain's laugh. Totally not. What are you on? Okay, let's take it back a notch. I want to see those Heelys. Have my blessing, Hell. She jumps down. And bends down for some reason. And turns the fronts of her stilettos into Heelys. Yeah. I gotta say, it's very unique as far as weapons go. The wings and the wheels at her feet remind me of Hermes. Interesting. Yeah, magical weaponized Heelys. That's her weapon of choice. Let us fall together. How could you think that she's a villain? Right? How could you see this face and not think that she's a friend? Right? Look how friendly she looks. She rides out of the rock. And, well, that was a nice flip. Just a few frames. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah, just over 30 frames. Look at this smear. This smear frame is... Damn. That's a really big impact. And he just... He just kicks this D2 in half. Just like that. And then crosswise. And she's happy about this because she can help her friends, of course. That's why she's laughing so much. They will be sent to a research facility in Boston. No, they won't. They will not be going to Boston. Of course they will not, because you have your own agenda. We're changing plans and taking them elsewhere. Your job is done here. Do you not hear me? We don't need you anymore. Yeah. She's a Musicart without a conductor, so she's disposable. Like that. What are we gonna do about them? We're gonna talk to them. Join us, and we shall rule the galaxy together as father and son. But no, Takt refuses. Because why would he agree to that? He never wanted any of it. He never wanted to have anything to do with conductors and Musicarts and D2s. He just wants to play his piano. That's all he wants. He was pulled into the whole situation against his will, so he has no reason to join the military. Or what makes up the military in this world, the Symphonica. Takt Asahina, eh? I won't forget that name. Look how friendly he is. He says he won't forget Takt's name. In case Takt gets into trouble, then he will remember his name to help him, of course. Right? He's a friend. Look how friendly he is. And we get a nice bit of them sleeping. I was really hoping that they're gonna meet Valkyr somewhere here in the middle of the desert, but I guess not. I really wonder what will become of her. Okay. That concludes our discussion. And now I want to check the voice actress for Valkyr. Takt of Destiny. I even have it on Mal. Takt of Destiny. Can you see it? Should be able to, but guess you can't see it. Maybe if I do it something like this? No. Okay, doesn't matter. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Is Valkyr even listed here? Okay, so Heaven is the name of Sagan's Musicart, and Hell is the name of Schindler's Musicart. Wow, that's so subtle. I don't see... No, I don't see Valkyr listed anywhere. That's interesting. Could it be that she's just a one-off character? Takt of Destiny. Valkyr. Takt of Wiki. Of course, there's a Takt of Wiki. Game. Worm. So there already is a game of Takt of Destiny. Of course. And her voice actress is Sumire Uesaka. Let me take a look at her. Shaltir? Really? Interesting. Shaltir Nagatoro? Oh. I did not hear Shaltir in her voice. But apparently... Hmm. Any other character that I would recognize? Only Shaltir and Nagatoro Pipimi in Popute Pipik. Korona Yuhi in Popute Pipik. Dekomori Sanae in Chunibyu. Really? I swear her voice in Takt Up is way more husky. Kawakami Mai from Phantom World. Hmm. Nonna from Girls und Panzer. Okay, that's more like it. That's more like it, but still. Either she has a range so great or I misremember the voices. Okay. I guess I'll have to look up the Takt of Destiny game. I wonder if it's out yet. No, it was announced. Symphonic RPG that leads the world towards harmony. The game has elements of turn-based combat and dialogue that uses live 2D. I guess I'll check it out. Maybe. Ah. Okay. Okay. I think this episode served one purpose, really. Establishing the villain. We had a lot of moments in past episodes that hinted at who the villain might be, but this episode just establishes it. It just tells us Schindler is the villain. His Musicart Hell is the villain. They're the villains of this story, and there's no questions about it. It's just how it is. I honestly don't think what else can I say about it. We also established that D2s are apparently attracted to those crystals they were transporting, which makes me think that maybe the tuning for Gen Episode 3 was made out of this crystal. Something. Still don't quite know how the D2s work, how they decide what to attack, how they're being controlled. I mean, if Schindler has full control over D2s, they wouldn't have attacked the train, right? So I'm assuming he doesn't have full control over them. He can merely attract them forcefully to a location, but if they get attracted to some location by themselves, it's not something that Schindler has control over. Hmm. We know the villain's motivation, we know who the villain is, and we establish the villain as just a straight out enemy of our main characters. He no longer will allow our main characters to just work in the background and do their own thing. He is now actively working against us, or at least everything points to him now working actively against us, holding an actual grudge because Takt didn't want to join him and rule the galaxy together as father and son. Hmm. I'm still not entirely sure where this series will go, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I know that they want to get to Symphonica to fix Cosette, to turn Destiny back into Cosette, but beyond that, I don't quite know the direction we're going in. I guess maybe sooner or later our main characters will help expose Schindler's scheme and they'll join forces with the Grand Maestro. Something like that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It can go in so many different directions that I'm not sure myself. Yeah, I think I don't have anything more to add to that. We're just gonna have to wait for further episodes to figure out where it goes. There's no point speculating. At least we now have enough information to to fully kind of embrace the story. I guess you could say that, because there isn't many more things left to establish. There isn't much more world building that needs to be done. So now we can focus on their story in earnest. I think maybe there is still things that need to be established. I don't know. The next episode they might really do a whole twist of the D2s are the good guys. For all I know. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. So, like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Leave your comment down below what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my commentary, what you think of my opinions, of my, of my thoughts about the directions this story can move in. What you thought of the Valkyrie? Would you like to see more of her? Because I sure know that I would love to see more of her. And how do you think will the story progress? I'm curious about that. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of my future uploads. If you really like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon. The link is down in the description. Just for $1 a month, you can get access to my Discord server, for example, and there will also be polls and things like that you will also get access to. And yeah, that's it from me. So as always, do all the good stuff, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers.